around here today?
We've organised this and facilitated this because going around as we do, speaking to various people, groups, people out on the street, I was very, very concerned that a lot of people really seem to think that the commissioning groups, that the fact that their GPs are going to be commissioning services, that they would be sitting there with a little pot of money in the corner, and when they went in they would be sort of like, here you go off to Allsop Hospital, go off to wherever and buy this service. And I think they owed it to the people that while all the political bit of it is being set up, what the Department of Health are doing or not doing, or what the commissioning groups are doing and their boards, that in between all of that are people. And those people need to know what's going on. So I arranged this today purely so that we could get the people to talk the business side of it, because that needs to be got out of the way, and the facts and the figures, which will be the start for us to go out and speak to people at people level about what is happening and what it will mean to them. Really, really need people to sign up to this to make sure they're heard.
So what happens after today? You go away, the organisations here go away, what happens after this?
After this, we're planning. I've already put in place plans for going around Thurrock to various areas to run small workshops, small drop in, have a cup of coffee, see what you want to find out. To bulk that up, I'm going to ask various groups that receive or that offer services, mostly from the voluntary sector, because I think they're going to be doing a lot of supporting of once the money gets stretched a little bit, that there's going to be a lot of voluntary sector picking up. So we make sure they're there and people know what's out there for them. Going around to the groups and organisations as we've always done, doing the street corner, walking the streets, going to the commuter groups, the usual stuff that we do.
Adult social care has been in the news today. You may not be able to answer this question, but to do with they're really concerned, the local government's really concerned that that money needs to be spent on adult social care. Is that a fair point?
It is a very fair point. As the link, we've done a couple this year as well. We're doing a lot of work around dignity and care, and we go and visit the residential homes. We see what they're serving or what services they're giving, and making sure that's being delivered within the realms of the dignity and respect are being maintained. As part of that, if while we're out there, we look at things or we see things that really are not happy, we're not happy with, that we think maybe this isn't right or maybe that's not right, we take that back to the local authority and tell them. Recently with the Winterbourne story up in Bristol with the learning disability homes, we sit on the safeguarding board, and I brought that up and said, what are Thurrock doing to ensure that the people that use our services in Thurrock are protected? They were doing out of our services. I know recently with the older people, one that was on the panorama this week, again I've already raised that and said I expect to meet with them and find out what they're doing to make sure that we've not got similar services or similar things happening in Thurrock. I'd like to think we haven't. We go out and visit them all, we listen to what people tell us and we act on that. So.
Janice, it looks like a very busy morning here at Healthwatch. What's the council's input?
We've worked in partnership with Kim from the Link, because really if what we want to achieve is the public's input, service users, patients and the public of Thurrock, we need to make sure that, number one, they know what's happening within the whole system. They need to know what's happening in Thurrock itself and how they can then influence the decisions that are taken at a strategic level.
How can they influence decisions at a strategic level?
Okay. There are various new organisations that are being developed, which we've explained this morning. Thurrock Clinical Commissioning Group is one of them, and the Link, which has already been the public voice as such, will evolve into an organisation called Healthwatch, and that's what we're here to publicise. Healthwatch will be one of the vehicles through which people can express their views, but you'll be speaking to Len in a second, who is about patient and public involvement, and all of the various voluntary groups in the voluntary sector, all of their views are brought together within those organisations and expressed through the Health and Wellbeing Board. The Health and Wellbeing Board is it's the group that holds the ring on all of the different care that is delivered within Thurrock and that is bought within Thurrock for Thurrock population. And the Healthwatch chair has a role in that Health and Wellbeing Board to make sure that there's a public champion within that professional organisation.
Well, from my point of view, I'm the sort of lay champion for the public and patient involvement. And the idea is to really, I saw this as a recruitment drive. We're trying to get the patient public groups within GP practices. Some are really good and they've got 20, 30 membership. Some are operating with about 3 or 4. And really we need to sort of get those groups up and running so that we can ensure the voice of the people of Thurrock gets heard. But it can't be done on its own. In reality, the PPGs are a small group, so they don't represent the various widespread engagement we require, and really the aim today is to actually ensure that the groups which we've got around in terms of stands actually work together to actually make sure we capture every bit of information we can.
We've got a lot of willing groups here, a lot of people packed out here at Hall, but what happens now?
What happens now is in June, that's the sort of timescale I'm heading for. There will be this first commissioning reference group meeting. The first meeting or so will be around obviously the bureaucracy of things, terms of reference, but the key to it is that we as a group have got to actually write the patient and public involvement strategy for Thurrock CCG. So it's a really important task which sets the scene of how public and patient engagement will be dealt with in Thurrock.